Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the Commando Show. The Commando Show. Now, I did not coin that phrase. I believe Jeff McBride did. Now, I'm not absolutely certain. So if you know who originated the term Commando Show, let me know. But I think it was Jeff McBride. I have a collection of Jeff McBride DVDs and videos going back to VHS. And I believe it was one of his early VHS tapes where he went into the idea of the Commando Show. Now, this is what Jeff McBride says. If you go to his website, I'm going to put a link down below so you can take a look at it. He offers a Commando Bootcamp in his school where he's going to teach you 9 audience-tested routines that you can do anywhere. I'm going to talk about the characteristics of a Commando Show in a moment. But he will teach you 9 routines that comprise his Commando Show. He has a boot camp to do this. I'll put the link down below. What he says is this: a real magician should be able to perform anytime, anywhere, even in the most challenging of environments. Now, I'm a huge fan, as you know. I'm a student of Denny Haney. Denny published a series of lecture notes many years ago. And in those lecture notes, he talked about having a case ready and prepared at the door, packed and ready to go, so that you could go at a moment's notice. Of course, it's assumed that you've thoroughly rehearsed the routines in that case. But he advocated having a case for your adult show, having a case for your kid show, and having it just sitting there ready. Now, this hasn't happened to me in years, but going back to the 90s, when I ran an ad in the Yellow Pages, and I think this was a function of the way the Yellow Pages worked, every now and then I would get a phone call. And the phone call might be at 4 o'clock, 5, maybe 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And the person would say, "We're having an event tonight. Can you come over and do a show?" Well, if you have a Commando Show and it's packed and ready to go, you can say, "Yeah, I'll be right there." Pick up your case, go out your door, and be ready to perform. And I think this is the idea that Jeff McBride is looking for. Denny was a big proponent of it, because back in those days, it wasn't uncommon to get a phone call like that. Today, I cannot tell you when the last time was that I got the call. But what I'm doing now is I'm traveling around. I'm going to different places. I'm in different towns. And, I have a show that I love to do, but honestly, it requires several trips in and out of the performance area to set up. And it's fairly complex. So to be able to take a show with me, and for those of you that fly, you want to think about a single carry-on. And you want your act to fit in a single carry-on. Now Max Maven, I believe he did a video called Nothing. And the premise of that video was, you should be able to go into a town with nothing, no props, and go to a 7-Eleven or go to a Rite Aid or go to a Walmart and buy what you need there to do a full act. And on this video called Nothing, Max Maven presented an act with paper bags and cards and just things you'd find just about anywhere. Now, the Commando Show doesn't quite fit that criteria. I think when your emphasis is on mentalism, you have a lot easier time doing this kind of thing than if, say, for example, you're a kid show performer or you're doing a platform traditional magic show. The more traditional you are in your magic, I think the harder it is. The linking rings themselves, which is a routine I love to do, they're about that big and they take up a little bit of space and they're metal, so they don't go through a metal detector. And then of course ropes, cards, coins, these types of things are the staples of someone who's putting together a Commando Show. What my suggestion is to you is that you have a Commando Show. It may not be your primary show, but you want a commando show. Now, here's the criteria for a commando show. There's basically 5, in my opinion. Now, this is my stuff here. There's basically 5 criteria. Number 1, the show should pack small. And when I say pack small, I mean you have a briefcase. A briefcase. And your show, 60 minutes, by the way, 60 minutes should fit inside of a briefcase. It should play big. In other words, you should be able to do the show for 3 people or 500 people. 500 people sitting in an auditorium should be able to see and enjoy your show. The show should play for at least 60 minutes, as I mentioned. The show should play surrounded. You never know. And I'll tell you what, I have spoken to booking agents on the phone, and they've said, oh, you know, you'll have a stage, you'll have a platform, and I get there, there's no stage, there's no platform, and I'm surrounded. So it should be able to play surrounded. There's a lot of effects that I love to do that I cannot do surrounded. Now what I will do is I'll take those effects with me. And if I find out that I'm surrounded, I simply don't do them. I opt to do something else. And I have, in my routine, I have do this or do this. And it's literally on the cue sheet. So that I know that if I'm in a surround situation, all right, I can't do that, but I'm going to do this other thing. So, yeah, you should be able to do it surrounded. There should be no setup and no breakdown. You shouldn't have to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even an hour setting up your show and then another hour breaking it down. You walk in with your case, you open your case, you perform out of your case, you close your case, you walk out the door. That's a commando show. Another person who did some work on this is Dan Harlan. He did a series of instructionals. This is long before his Tarbell days, when he did every trick in the book Tarbell. But before that, he did a series of videos on pack flat, play big shows. He did mentalism, he did kid shows, he did bizarre, and he had a case. And he would pack his props in the case. He would perform the show, drop the props back in the case, close the case, walk out the door. This was his premise as well. Check those out if you haven't seen those. They're excellent. Pack small, play big, no setup, no breakdown, play surrounded. Number 5, you should be able to do it indoors. You should be able to do it outdoors. Now that implies something. You know, when you're performing outside, you're in the elements. What happens if it rains? Is a prop destroyed? You know, can you not do something because you're outside in the elements? Think about that, because let me tell you something. I don't like to perform outside, but you're going to get the gigs. You're going to get the opportunities, and don't turn them down. Go do them. Just be able to do stuff that you can do outside. You know, that's your basic criteria. Now, Jeff McBride has an entire workshop on this. You got to go out to Las Vegas to do it. I don't know how much it is. I haven't priced it, but I will put the link down below. The Commando Show. Denny Haney advocates it. Dan Harlan advocates it. Jeff McBride advocates it. It's something, if you haven't thought about it, think about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please comment down below. I love your comments. Have a great day, everyone.